is deceased. Although we do have a new floppy drive to repair it. We have camera 21. There it is. I was just playing around with Mac Paint, but Alex is an expert with Crystal Quest, so let's see if we can boot up Crystal Quest, and then we'll zoom in on it and you can see it if you really want. So this is the original Macintosh from 1984. On the inside of the cover, it has embossed the Macintosh team signatures, including Steve Jobs.
Wow, that's great. One of the originals. And how big is that hard drive?
The hard drive came years and years after the... I have a 20 megabyte and an 80 megabyte.
20 megabyte? What are you going to do with all that space? What did you do with it back then?
I did actually lab reports for physics. It was like, wow, this is the first time somebody turned in a lab report. It wasn't handwritten. I actually had to draw the Sigma for integrals in Mac Paint. And other than that, I was able to use all the numbers and typing and draw pictures. And well, I also played this game a lot.
What game is that?
Crystal Quest. Let's see if we can get this microphone working safely here.
Okay, yeah, take it over there. Let me know if you've got anything else interesting going on over there, and we'll cut back to you. But that is certainly a nice way to remember Steve and his legacy by using some of the original hardware that he helped to design.
Is this on?
It is on now. Yes. Oh, well, we got a lot of folks on the line. I'll come back to you guys. Okay, let's see. There's a lot of people here. Let's say hi right now to East Michigan. Hi, who's this?
Aaron, his theory was if you're going to introduce a new product, it can't just be a normal.
Is that? I think that's a television set, but I'm not sure. Okay, let's go to Arizona. Hi, who's in Arizona? Someone must be in Arizona.
Hello?
Hi, what's your name?
Hello?
Hi, yes. What's your name?
Brian.
Hi, Brian. And what are your thoughts on Steve?
I wanted to kind of touch on kind of the future of Apple, and I actually kind of just want to expound on something that Leo said earlier. And I believe he said this before even the news had come out. It was more in regards to Tim Cook's first keynote and how companies kind of fall into two categories. Either, the head of the company steps down or passes away and the company crumbles, or like a Walt Disney, where his legacy and endures so well that for generations now, people remember who he is, and everything they do is based upon simply pushing the boundaries of what could be done. And I think Steve has set that foundation to establish that type of legacy for Apple.
You guys have to turn that down a little bit. We're hearing the beeps all the way from over here. They're playing with the original Mac. I'm sorry, Brian on the phone. What are you guys going on over there? Is that the Crystal Quest? Okay. And what year did that come out? 87. Okay, so not with the original Mac, but it was the first color Mac game. But I guess it also works on the original 128K Mac. All right. Sorry about that, Brian. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Yeah, just how,
I saw Crystal Quest out of the corner of my eye, and I just.
Just how Steve Jobs has established, a legacy for Apple company that is always on the leading edge of the boundary of his industry. And I think Steve Jobs is really set that in motion with Apple. People that he worked with on a day-to-day basis who sat and talked to him and had discussions about, future products, that his foresight and his way of thinking is going to be cemented into the company, and that Apple is always going to be looking at, known as a forward-thinking company because of Steve Jobs' legacy.
I think you're right, Brian. I think that hopefully his legacy will be, that of a Walt Disney, where the company can survive and thrive, or Central Kentucky. It actually says North and Central Kentucky, so I don't know how that's possible. But hi, who's this?
Hello.
Hi, what's your name? And turn down your TV or whatever that is.
I'm going to turn it down. I was on hold, man.
Oh, that's.
Yeah, I just want to chime in. I know you're up against it, man. I just want to say thank you, first of all, for extending the time to people who really care about Apple and giving the opportunity to pay their respects to Steve.
Oh, well, thanks. Thanks. And what are your thoughts on Steve?
My thoughts are just very simple. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Is, impact. Impact is everything. I mean, that's what you hear with all these callers when they all mention all the great things that Steve has done, the things that he's accomplished, and the only thing that comes to my mind is just the overall impact that he's had on the world. I think that what we should take away from
The world.
his life, and as well as his death, is that, we should all challenge ourselves to just impact the world by thinking differently. I don't care if you bake cakes, do cookies, or you flip hamburgers at McDonald's and you're on your way up to try to have your own business in some sort of capacity in life. But in whatever you try to contribute to life, just dare to think differently. And hopefully Steve Jobs has really seen that in Tim Cook and the other guys who he's brought on staff, and that's all we can just really take from this situation. So that's all I want to say, man. Thanks for everything, Eric. Always a great show.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And yes, let's be inspired by Steve's example, and just like the Think Different commercials show, go out and whatever you do, whether it's, I remember the Think Different commercials had everything from Jim Henson is in that, Albert Einstein, dancers, ballet dancers are in that. I mean, Gandhi, it covers the whole spectrum of human events in the 20th century. And the message of commercials were, no matter what you do, dare to do it differently and dare to do it great. And maybe if you're, what's the line? Because the people who are just crazy enough, the ones who are just crazy enough to think they can change the world, are the ones who do. Next call is in Central Massachusetts. Hi, who's this?
Hi, this is Bill.
Hi, Bill.
I want to expound on what you were saying about Walt Disney. It's interesting, Steve Jobs was on the board of Walt Disney before he died.
Yeah, it was actually the largest single shareholder.
Yeah, I mean, and the big thing to me is the fact that they were both very visionary men, both led their companies with their ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's kind of funny. We're worried about how Apple's going to do with Steve Jobs gone. And I think Walt Disney did pretty good after Walt died. And hopefully Apple will do as well with Steve's visions.
Yeah. It just occurred to me as I just said, the Think Different commercials did feature Jim Henson, and unfortunately, that's an example, in my opinion, of a company that did falter and flounder without its founder. I think the whole Muppet enterprise has kind of lost its original vision. When you see that new posters for that new Muppet movie, I look at those characters from the 70s and go,
right,
that's not the spirit of the Muppets. It was not supposed to be about those characters that those 3 or 4 men created. It was supposed to be about the spirit of that kind of humor and silliness and being able to extend that. It should be all new characters, or else the legacy doesn't make any sense. And I hope that we're not saying that about a faltering Apple a few years from now.
Yeah, exactly. Disney did falter for a bit, I thought, after Walt died, but they did recover. Hopefully Apple will do the same with a little less growing pains.
Actually, interesting thing about
he's definitely a great guy.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Interesting thing about the Disney analogy. I don't really. I hope I have this right. I think the person who took over from Walt Disney was it Michael Eisner originally, or was it someone in the interim? That I don't know. But after, there were arguably the Eisner years at Disney were bad and took the company in directions it shouldn't have gone, and diluted the brand, made a bunch of Lion King 5 3/4 on DVD, straight to DVD, all that kind of crap that they did. Cinderella 3, Bambi 6. I mean, just ridiculous garbage. And the one who's now over there turning it around is actually Steve Jobs' old guy, John Lasseter from Pixar.